AFK discussions starts now. What up, guys? Another day, another podcast. Jason is off this week with his family, doing a vacation. So, huge shout out to Jason. Hopefully, he's enjoying himself out there. He was solo last week. Obviously, a lot happened last week in the world. But before we get into this episode, huge shout out to obviously fattack.com. They have holsters. They have things for your weapons. They have things for bigger guys. They actually have items with AFK Discussions logos on it. So please go and check those out. All right. So this is going to be kind of a different kind of an episode for sure. Something that is definitely different. Probably a first on AFK Discussions. I'd have to go back and check, but I'm pretty sure it would be a first. So this is just an update on how I've been doing. For those people who don't know, about a week ago. Seems like forever ago. Seems like a lot longer than that. A week ago, I guess. Let me start at the beginning of the month. So the beginning of the month, I was doing the month of madness, going to the Huckamuck Swamp every single day, and I would say, like 6 days in, 7 days in, is when my mental health started to like deteriorate and get worse and worse and worse as I went along. Now, why did this happen? That's kind of like what a lot of people always, try to think. And so this was like something that is just one of the most craziest, strangest things that I've definitely ever experienced for sure. I've had, bouts with mental health in the past, depression, anxiety, stuff like that. But this was something definitely different, entirely different, and something I've never experienced before. Well, sort of in a way, but not really. So let me just go back to the beginning and just kind of start it off. So like I said, month of madness, going to the Huckamuck Swamp every single day. And I remember it must have been Wednesday before, Wednesday the 10th maybe, or whatever. No, 9th, whatever day it was. It was the last day actually. The last day I went out to the swamp and stuff. I remember sitting in like a Speedway parking lot. And then like up into this week, I've just been, racing thoughts, high anxiety, and then, all these, I'll got to kind of get a breakdown of what was actually going on with me. But I remember sitting in the Speedway parking lot, and I just heard this voice in the back of my head that just told me, it's like, you need to stop investigating. And so I was like, that's kind of weird. And, leading up into that week, just kind of just, like I said, high anxiety, racing thoughts, fear. I'm trying to think of some other ways to describe it. Like it couldn't control my thoughts and just like ever consuming thoughts. So basically what was happening to me was like, it's so hard to describe. So basically it was definitely a spiritual attack. No doubt about that. Like, yes, it was affecting my mental health. And it was using my mental health against me for sure. But it was very strange because it was as if it was using a past trauma that had happened in my life like 10 years ago. And it brought it all back up as if it was happening again. Like all those same feelings, all those crazy thoughts, and which was very, very strange, especially for something that had already been over and dealt with. You know what I mean? It was very strange. So that's when I knew like this was more than just like feeling sad, or this was more than just anxiety about a situation, especially since the situation that I was anxious about was well over 10 years ago. And I'm like, this is not right. You know what I mean? So I would describe this experience as definitely top 5 as far as worst mental health breaks I've ever had in my life, for sure. And first of all, I want to give a shout out to everyone that reached out to me, messaged me, called me, everyone's been super, super supportive and really nice about it. So I really appreciate that. And thank everyone for reaching out. And, obviously, huge shout out to Nicole. If it wasn't for the Lord, Nicole, Pastor Frank, my mom, I mean, Michael, the list goes on. So huge shout out to all those people. And God is good, because I'm on the other side of this. So, like I said, this is going to be a weird episode. So I hope you guys don't mind. But I just wanted to really just kind of explain everything and let everyone know how I'm doing, because so many people have been asking and wondering when I'm coming back and all that kind of stuff. So, anyway, so the day after the gas station day, that was like I think the second to last day I investigated. I think that next Friday, which would have been last Friday, was the day I made the video saying I was going to take a mental health break. So on that Thursday, even in the morning that Thursday before I said I was going to take the mental health break, I remember, like I said, I'm having high anxiety about trauma from like 10 years ago, and it's as if it's happening now, and just like can't get away from these thoughts and these like uh just, I mean, literally just mental torture. I was the best way I can describe it. It's something I've never experienced before. Like I said, I had experienced this before, but it was 10 years ago. And so to have that same sort of feelings coming back from 10 years ago, I'm like, where is this coming from? What's going on? And so then, on that Thursday, I call my mom up. I have her pray with me, because my mom's a Bible believing woman and all that stuff. So I was like, would you mind praying with me? I'll let her know what's going on. And what's really strange about the whole thing, it all started with just one word. It's amazing how this, spirit or entity or whatever takes one word and somehow makes a connection to something that happened in the past, which there's no connection at all. Like, this is where like it gets really, really crazy as far as like how this thing was able to affect me. And what's really strange about this is, when I said I was taking a mental health break, other people, other paranormal investigators, 2 of them to be exact, reached out to me and said they had something similar happen to them. The same sort of like unrational fear, high anxiety, tightening of the chest. For me personally, it was like my chest was super tight. I couldn't hardly eat. I couldn't hardly focus. Just like constantly thinking about these traumas and stuff, these past traumas and stuff like that. So it was a very, very strange experience. So Thursday, like I said, call my mom, have her pray with me. I'm, kind of like struggling all day long, just kind of, what really got me through all this whole stuff was like a lot of like mental health prayers, a lot of devotionals and stuff like that, just to try to keep my mind off it and trying to keep busy as possible. But even with that, I just felt like something was like on me, or just oppressing me, as I would say, not possessed, but oppressed. And so I asked my mom and my uncle Michael to come over and like pray for me, because I'm like, there's something not right. And so this was the Thursday before the Friday where I said I wasn't going to go back to the swamp again and take a break. And so they come over, they start praying for me. And then it's a very emotional experience and all that. And then, I just felt this like huge heaviness like lift off of me when they were praying for me, which was a great experience. And, I felt a lot better immediately after that. And then, we get done praying, and I'm like, thanking them for praying for me and stuff. And, my Uncle Michael's talking to me about like, you got to be careful when you go out to these places, like these, there are evil entities and familiar spirits out there, obviously demonic stuff in some cases. So, I'm thinking about all this, and I'm like, oh, I just gotta stop investigating, at least for now, especially when I literally heard in my head, sitting in a speedway right before I'm about to go to the Huckamuck, I hear in the back of my head, you need to stop investigating. And I was like, well, that's that's not good. I was like, okay, well, all right. So, like I said, it had that oppressive thing on me. It came off me. I'm feeling a lot better. Friday, I took the break, and then I think it was like Friday afternoon, I started not to feel good again. And I'm like, why am I starting not to feel good again? And then like my mind kind of went to like I don't know if the Lord was reminding me or whatever, kind of like going back to when like the wisp happened on the AFK Discussions podcast, where that thing flew in front of my face, or the other thing, there was something else in my house. I started to be like, well, they prayed over me, and like it, I felt a lot better after they prayed over me and everything, and it left me, but we didn't pray over the house. Maybe there's some sort of like open door that, these things are still coming into my home and stuff like that. So, which, is possible. I do paranormal investigations, it's everyone kind of like that's, if you're into this kind of stuff, you know that you have to protect your home and you don't want to leave any, open doors. So I'm like, well, we need to definitely pray over my house for sure. And so Saturday comes along, there's a baptism at my church for some other people. Even though I'm kind of like still in the middle of like some mental health crisis, I'm like, you know what, let me rededicate myself to the Lord. I want to do what the Lord wants me to do. I get baptized. I feel, feeling good about that. Still not feeling normal, but feeling good about doing that. And then I was like, you know what? I was like, I asked my mom, I was like, hey, would you mind coming over and like praying over the house, closing any doors and stuff like that. So my mom came over, we prayed over the whole house, closed any doors and stuff like that. And then after that moment, um, I started to feel like better and better kind of like every day. And then um, what ended up happening is like it ended up, this is where I knew it was like I was definitely in for a little bit longer of a attack than a normal one. I was like, okay, this is going to be like prolonged. Uh, it started, like I said, I was saying before, it was like using my past traumas to kind of like torture me with that. But once I had gotten over that bit and those traumas, and then it's ended up switching to another trauma, and then torturing me with that trauma. Like it was just absolutely endless, and it just, couldn't escape. So after that, uh, what was I going to say? I lost train of thought. So yeah, I said I'm going off notes. So after that, I started to feel like better about the one area, but then like I said, it switches, and so then it switches something completely different, leading up to, I would say, which was the worst day out of all this, which was last Wednesday, and where I was just, I mean, absolute agony all day long. I'm not a person that cries. Last time I cried before this event was probably when my dad died. I shed a couple tears for him, but that was 2021. So like, I'm not a person that's like, some people cry more, and there's nothing wrong with that. Some people cry more than others. I'm not a crier. So, I mean, I was bawling my eyes out all day long, and, I was just like, what is happening? What is wrong with me? Um, and so then I got home and thank God for Nicole and the Lord. And she talked to me, and then, it just broke right after that. It literally broke. And then, since then, I've been feeling better and better every day. I've had my first therapy session on Thursday, the day after like the worst day I had. And ever since the therapy session and when it broke finally Wednesday, I've been feeling better and better every single day. Not normal. I'm still not 100% normal or feeling normal. Um, what's one thing that's kind of like lingering for me is like the tightness in my chest. Like I don't have necessarily the anxiety, as far as like thinking about like racing thoughts, thinking about like stuff over and over and over again. That's kind of gone, but like just the tightness in the chest and overall just discomfort is still there. So I also got some prescriptions as well from my doctors for that. So between therapy and that, um, and obviously the help of my family, and obviously the help of the Lord, which has been absolutely paramount in all of this. I mean, if it wasn't for the Lord, I'd be in an insane asylum. There's no doubt about that, and that's not me exaggerating. That's where I was. So I just want to thank everyone for reaching out, and God is good, and I'm still on a journey, and I guess what I would say is like my major like takeaways from this is I mean, I'm one of those people that like believes that things happen for a reason, for sure. And don't get me wrong, I love ghost hunting. I love making content and all that stuff, but I don't think I ever would have stopped if unless something like this happened. So I think the Lord was definitely trying to get my attention. Now, whether that's me stopping altogether or him trying to protect me and trying to build me up to be stronger than what I am right now, to be able to handle the future and what he wants me to do and all that stuff. But now that I'm not sure. And that's something I'm trying to figure out as well with all of this stuff. Cause, I mean, at the end of the day, like going through this, like, I don't want to go back to doing paranormal stuff if it's going to be like that, obviously. Um, and most importantly, I think I want to do what the Lord wants me to do. Now, if the Lord comes and tells me, "Hey, Phill, I want you to go investigate," I will go investigate. So I'm willing to do whatever He wants me to do. So that's kind of like where I'm at now. As far as the future um, of like exploring with Phill, I definitely will continue to make videos for sure. Now, I'm definitely going to continue to be on my break as far as making and going out there and doing new paranormal videos. Like I'm not doing uh, any new paranormal videos and for the foreseeable future, at least until um, I can figure out what the Lord wants me to do. Essentially, um, yeah, I just don't know. You know what I mean? I still don't know because if you ask me right now, I would say I'm not coming back to do paranormal. But that's me a few days after the worst mental health, uh, one of the top five worst mental health breaks I've had. So, you know, um, but yeah, so I don't know. I wouldn't rule it out 100% because you never know what the Lord will want you to do or how things will change and evolve. And, if I guess if I ever did do paranormal again, it would probably be different for sure. At least look different and be different than what I was doing. Because I think back to a few things actually, which in hindsight kind of like concerns me, and I'll explain why. So there's been a few occasions where, whether that's Huckmuck Swamp or the Evil Amy video, or I'm trying to think of another place where this happened, um, the Nemaska Village as well, where I don't hear anything in the moment, but I respond as if there's something there, and I listen back and there's an EVP right at that moment. So I did hear something. So there's obviously a connection there between me and these other ghost spirits, whatever you want to call them. So that's something I think concerns me a little bit because I'm like, well, is this, well, is this a spiritual gift from God? Is this because I've do investigating so much that there's like a connection between me and them? You know what I mean? And so that's kind of strange, and I don't necessarily like that per se. You know what I mean? Because I don't like that connection. Yeah, it's just something I like thought about, and I'm like, that's kind of weird when you like kind of think about it retrospectively. And I do have great hearing and stuff like that, so I know I have better hearing than the average person. So, and like I said, maybe it's a spiritual gift. Maybe the Lord's trying to lead me into this and show me something different, and kind of redo my focus on these videos and stuff. But I don't know exactly what yet, and I haven't really got an answer for that. But so sorry, I don't really have an answer for that. But but with that said, I still have 5 paranormal videos that I'm currently editing. One's coming out this Thursday. So you guys will at least have 5 more paranormal videos at the very least. And then obviously I still want to do other videos. I still want to do exploring videos and um, other content as well. And I would definitely say as far as paranormal stuff, still on a pause for now until I can figure out what's going on essentially. But I am doing much better. And let me just respond to some of your comments over here, guys. You guys have been so nice on the side here. Thank you, Andrea, buddy. I appreciate it. Beanie Girl, new subscriber here. May God bless you. Thank you on His will for you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That is awesome. And you must be talking about the paranormal. I wouldn't do it. I do watch it, but I always feel like I'm being sinful. Yeah, and I can understand that as well, especially if you're a Christian. That's been something I've been researching as well, because obviously there's a lot of talk in the Old Testament, especially Deuteronomy, about things you shouldn't do. And there's a lot of there's no ghost hunting's not in there. You'll never find ghost hunting in there, of course. But there is mentions of mediums. There is mentions of sacrificing your children for other gods. There's mentions of witchcraft and soothsaying, a lot of different things. So a lot of people in the past have used that against me and be like, "Oh, you shouldn't ghost hunt because of these things." And so I'm not done in my research with that because also in Deuteronomy it also says stuff about not eating meat with blood in it and not having tattoos. So it's kind of like, well, where do you draw the line? Do you live by the old law? Do you live under the grace of God and Lord Jesus Christ? So that's that's something I've been like kind of wrestling with and researching and stuff like that. So I definitely understand where you're coming from as far as that. And tinfoil cryptid wizard, my buddy. Is that a hand? I don't know what that is. I think it's a hand, like a high five maybe, or a wave. I'm not so sure. So yeah, I'm still going to be on a break for like the next 2 months. I'm at least going to be on a break for paranormal videos. I may not come back to paranormal videos, but at the very least, I will be on a temporary break from that. But like I said, guys, I still have 6 videos out there coming your way for those of you who are into the paranormal. And I'll probably be doing other videos as well, some nostalgic type videos. Yeah, so I got some things coming down the pike, but I still on the mend, still trying to get better, still trying to get back to normal and feeling good. But I'm doing a lot better than I was before for sure. And I thought I was going to talk longer. So, um, Beanie Girl, I know how much you love God, and I need to get more seed in the Bible. Yeah, absolutely. Me too. That's one thing through this process that I've been doing for sure is reading a lot more, praying a lot more, getting closer to God through this whole thing because He's been my rock through this for sure. And if it wasn't for Jesus, I don't know where I would be. That's for sure. So and it's this whole thing has been very, very strange because, like I said, I love doing paranormal stuff and videos and stuff, but this whole thing is just, uh, I told Jason even before coming on here, I was like, dude, I don't even know if I want to talk paranormal anymore, bro. And of course, like, and then he's like, oh, don't worry about it, like, so I know we talked about paranormal. I still probably will talk paranormal. It's just difficult when you're just getting over all this stuff. It's still fresh in my mind. So now, as far as whether or not this thing actually came from the Huckamuck Swamp or not, that I don't know, because honestly, the original attack happened in my home. So now I was going to the Huckamuck Swamp every single day leading up to that, so you can kind of put 2 and 2 together. But I mean, you never really know um, how or why it happens. But like I said, I think all of this happened to me for a reason. It was to have me stop and at least get strength from the Lord, reset, and obviously get stronger from this as well. You know what I mean? Like there on the other side of this, I definitely will be a stronger person, a healthier person, and better off for going through this for sure. I mean, it's obviously hard in the moment, in the thick of it, when you're going through stuff, to be like, oh, this is going to benefit me. You know what I mean? But it also says in the Bible that the Lord suffered for us. So as Christians, we also are going to have to suffer as well. So, I mean, it's my pleasure to suffer for the Lord. So, let's see. Paranormal is fun and interesting. Yeah, it can be. It definitely can be. And the confessionals, we have a heart. Is that a kissy face or is that a tongue out? I think that's a heart. And thank you, Beanie Girl. I appreciate all you. I will take all the prayers I can get. That's for sure. But God is good. I'm doing a lot better than I was up until Wednesday. Like I said, Wednesday was when it finally broke. So I appreciate that. Trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to talk about. I guess I'll promote the video coming out this Thursday. This Thursday, Bridgewater Triangle. We went out with Banter with Richie B. Shout out to Richie too. Richie was one of the guys that called me multiple times asking how I'm doing. Oh, also huge shout out to Laura, Midnight in the Mountain. She reached out many times as well, more than once, seeing how I was doing. So, I mean, that is really sweet of you guys to be reaching out. I really appreciate that with all my heart. So anyway, Bandit with Richie B. Went out to his property. He's a Bigfoot guy. And he's had a lot of Bigfoot stuff happen out there, tree knocks, some tree structures and stuff that he thinks could be Bigfoot. So we went out there a couple months ago. And not only did we hear some strange noises out there, but we got obviously the land is haunted as well. Who would have thought? And so we got some haunted stuff there as well. So that will be a cool video. So please check that out this Thursday. I'm going to try to make a trailer for that video early this week, which I should be able to do. So that'll be out this Thursday. And like I said, I still got 4 more paranormal videos for you guys. I can tell you what they are. I got Dogtown, which is in Gloucester, Massachusetts. It's an abandoned old town that kind of got a wouldn't say notorious, but kind of got a paranormal reputation as the years have gone by. Still going through the footage on that one, so I'm not sure. We got a couple spirit box responses, but I'm not sure if we got any EVPs yet necessarily on that one. I don't remember off the top of my head. But we got that. I got another Freetown State Forest video, and I got a Hockomock Swamp video, a full Hockomock Swamp video, and those I haven't even edited yet. Plus Rich's video that comes out this Thursday. So that's at least 5 videos. That'll get us through the next 2 months, plus anything else I make. So please be on the lookout for that this Thursday. Please go check out the back videos. I've done a lot of videos over the years, so please go check those out. Get those going viral for me. That would be cool. I don't know if there's anything else. I really was trying to stretch this out a little bit longer, but I kind of just like flew through that. If you guys have any questions for me at all, I'll take a couple questions if you want. If not, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to talk about. Just God is good. God is good. I cannot praise him enough for getting me through this, man. And it's actually weird too, how God works. Like every single sermon I've heard, every single message I've heard has been just geared towards what I'm going through. It's very strange. Every time I turn on, I can't give this enough praise. Charles Stanley, God rest his soul, he passed away earlier this year, maybe late last year. He has like a Charles Stanley radio that you can like, go on his website or whatever. And it's like 24/7 sermons and all kinds of stuff like that. Every single time I've turned it on, I'm like, was this specifically for me? Very, very strange. So, but in a good way. So that's been immensely helpful to me, for sure. And obviously my family, and huge shout out to everyone that's reached out to me. But I think that's going to wrap it up. I don't really have anything else to talk about. Yeah, I don't think so. Sorry, Jason, for a less than. I'll try to get it to a half an hour. I'll try to get to a half an hour. Andrew says, glad to hear that, buddy. Thanks, bud. I appreciate all your support, man. You're always there in the comments. And Beanie Girl says, God is talking to you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I know. He's definitely, like I said, this whole thing was definitely him trying to get my attention for sure, because I would have never stopped unless something like this happened. So, just because I'm a workaholic. Oh, that's another part of this too. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. Priorities. My priorities were out of whack, man. Out of whack. My main priority was exploring with Phill, then my family, then God. So, that's just not good overall, especially if it's not fair to Nicole, and so I definitely, through this process, I've definitely realized that, like, I definitely have to reprioritize my life. And of course, God's at the top, then Nicole, then work / exploring with Phill. So, that's another part of this too, that's come out of this, that I can say that's definitely been, something I've realized, because I'm a workaholic type personality. So I'll just keep on working and working and working and working. And then, when you're really into something and you like it, you can get down that rabbit hole of just working too much. So that's one thing I've definitely kind of realized through this as well. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. Rock. I love you. You rock. Thanks for your lovely video. Thank you so much. I definitely appreciate that. Like I said, I love making videos. I love doing paranormal stuff, but if the Lord doesn't want me to do it, then I'm not going to do it. So I know that stinks, but like I said, if you want me to do paranormal videos, pray to the Lord. Because yeah, that will definitely work. Yeah. So like I said, I got videos coming out the next month, over the next 2 months. So you guys will have videos, plenty of videos, plenty of things to watch. And you guys have the backlog of all those videos I have as well. So get those going viral. Actually, it's funny. There's one from last year, this time last year, Middleborough video about the King Philip's War. That one has gone viral out of nowhere over the last few months. I don't know why or how that works. It's just, I think a few people start watching and then it gets picked up. Yeah, and I agree with you, Beanie Girl. We definitely all need him for sure. And if there's anyone out there that also, I know a few people reached out to me saying they've gone through this similar things. And if you're going through a similar thing, you're not alone. You can always reach out to me. I will help as much as I can. I will pray for you. If there's anyone out there at all that wants to talk about Jesus or anything like that, or needs help, or just wants to talk to somebody because you're struggling, you're not alone, man. There's a lot of, this world's awful, and there's a lot of terrible things in there. So you don't need to be carrying around all that weight, so there is someone that can carry that burden for you. Beanie Girl, you're rocking it with the comments here. There are things going on that we need to know. Yeah, that's true. All right, Jason, I got you to 30 minutes. All right, guys, that is going to wrap it up for another episode of AFK Discussions podcast. This is probably the strangest episode of AFK Discussions podcast for sure. Beanie Girl, yep, that's the same one. All right, so thank you guys for watching this. I really appreciate you tuning in. I know it's not the most exciting episode, or some, probably kind of sad because you guys are like, oh man, Phil's not coming back. But don't worry, I will be back in some sort of way. It may not be paranormal, but I will be back in some sort of form or fashion, making content for you guys. So again, to everyone that reached out to me, thank you. I appreciate all your love. I appreciate all your prayers. I appreciate all you guys do for me. And if there's something I can do for you as far as prayer wise or whatever, just feel free to reach out, because you guys are the sweetest people in the world. So let me check these comments before I wrap up, just in case. Little Nicky Knack, thank you for sharing your testimony. Yes, absolutely. The Lord absolutely delivered me, for sure. Like I said, if it wasn't for the Lord, I would be in a state asylum right now. So I love you guys too. So please pray for me. I will pray for you guys. And stay tuned, because I'm sure the future is going to only be better and bright. And I should have got the music up. Sorry. Peace.